y'all, it's Jamie for Pixi Dust Designs, and today I'm using the hatching egg die set, which cuts out the egg shape, two egg shells, so a top and the bottom as if it's hatching out, wings, grass, eyes, the beak, all the bits. And I'm pairing this with the card A mechanism that does this folding piece that will allow our hatching egg to fly. I have already prepped a couple of panels. One is for the outside of our card, one is for the inside of our card. I just did some ink blending around the bottom and some splatter of texture paint along the top. I cut out two circles that are going to be our moons, sprayed them with some mica spray, and then I made sure that they're dried really good. We do some ink blending over this with a moon stencil, and this is a orangish, I guess, oxide ink. And I really wanted to soften the mica spray while adding a little bit more orange to my moon. So I do this in the center of both my circles, around the edges, and then I adhere them to each of my panels up in the corner. I wanted them visible, but our chick is going to be what is prominent here. And then I'm going to take some scissors and I'm just going to lop off the little pieces of my moon that are hanging over my card panels. I do this on both of my panels. In this way, we have our moon sitting up in our corner, shining down because this is a nighttime card. I affix both of my panels, one on the inside, one on the outside, using some liquid adhesive. And I just kind of center those in each of the places. And then that way our scene kind of carries from the outside of the card to the inside. The wings of the set are really cool and have these added embossed details to them. So I'm going to do a little bit of purple ink blending around the wings and my egg shapes. And I go a little bit inside the wings because I want to add some highlight to those embossed details. I have already cut out all of the pieces for the face of my hatching chicks. And I also cut the shell pieces out of alcohol inked acetate. So I used some neon alcohol ink over acetate to create a background, and then I just die cut that out, backed it onto some white cardstock. I found it easiest when placing or figuring out the placement for the eyebrows and eyes and even the beak to kind of place them down first and then go back and determine where my shell pieces needed to be. So that's how I did the setup of each of my hatching eggs. I then use just dots of liquid adhesive to affix the eyebrows and the eyes once I know the exact placement that I want to have them. And I think it's really cute. Just look at how adorable that is. You can also choose to mix and match these however you want to. You could have your egg winking, so one eye is open and the other one is closed. Or as you'll see on this egg, the eyes are both going to be open. I love the way that Pixi Dust Designs does their eyes. They just sparkle. So layering them is really simple. The black piece over some white. And then to do the beak, it is a simple layering as well. This orange piece just goes over this black piece, so we have a smiling beak. Very cute, very simple. Just make sure you put it on the right way. Once I figure out the placement for my chickie face, I can then go ahead and start affixing everything. I start with the beak because to me, that really needed to be placed pretty center. And I wanted to make sure that that was not going to budge as I moved around the chick face and used my liquid adhesive to adhere all of the other pieces. I place that bottom shell, make sure that it is set, and then I do the eyes, the eyebrows, and then I can put on the top of the shell. So that's kind of what how I moved around the egg, kind of started from that beak, went to the bottom, and then worked my way back up. And that is so adorable. The grass has this fold line. This is going to fold around the bottom of the egg. I decided because my eggs are in the middle of the night that I needed to do a little bit of highlighting. So I offset my grass with a darker and lighter piece, and then I fold along that line. I put some glue along the front, just at the bottom, and along that back bottom piece, and then I can wrap it around the bottom of my egg. So my egg just kind of sits in there. I can maneuver it to be centered how I need it to be, and then I can make sure that that is really good and set. I then want to work on the mechanism piece of our card. So this is the inside piece. I fold in or back, however you want to think about this, each of the tabs, and then on that center one, I'm going to fold that back as well. And this way we have like a little tabletop with that crisscrossy and bossy piece being at the top, and then the flat piece is where our egg will sit. Now the crisscrossy piece here, I found it easiest to fold along all the lines, and this needs to go folding inward. So I fold the center lines, each along the crosses, and then what I can do, because my center needs to go down, is I push the sides in, and then I hold it so that I can crease everything really crisply. And this kind of creates like a little bucket, like you can see here. We then need to place this on the inside of our card. So I find it easiest to start with that bottom tab, and it's going to butt up right against the fold line of our card. And then the top tab is going to affix to the back of the inside of our top folding card. So I put some liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to make sure that I hold that down so it is good and secure. I then am going to lay it flat, put some adhesive on that tab, and then I found it easiest to just shut the card. I hold it there, and then once it's good and dry, I can affix my wings on the inside of this mechanism. They go inside the bucket and fit perfectly, just the end of the wing into the corner piece of that little tab of one of the buckets. You want your wings curved upward when you're doing this. This way, your chick is flying, the wings are flapping, and they're going in the right direction. So make sure they're curved upwards. Do the same thing on the other side. Just add some liquid adhesive into that little corner, and then put the corner or end of that other wing into that space. I'm telling you, it just fits perfectly. I hold it shut for a little bit to make sure it's really good and adhered. We can then place liquid adhesive all on that front little space, square space, and put our egg. I kind of line up the bottom pieces together, make sure that it is then centered within the wings. And there it's flying. I can then move on to putting everything together on the front of my card. So I liked the grass that this set came with, so I cut it out again a couple of times out of glitter cardstock. But because when you fold it, you can kind of see that white, and I didn't want that, I decided to cut off the bottom pieces of the grass. And I just did this at the fold line. I wanted there to be a full length of grass at the bottom of the card. So I just glue the pieces of grass there before putting glue all over the back of my egg, and then putting that in the center of my card. I have some alcohol inked sentiments that say Happy Easter, and then to you and yours. I put foam adhesive on the back of those, and then I just adhere them to my card. And here is our finished card. I think that this is so cute. We have our alcohol inked sentiment that says Happy Easter, and I really like it in the gold because it kind of ties into this without it being in your face. I really wanted the focal point to stay on this little chick and our story, our theme of, the egg being hidden at night, and then they just didn't know that the chick was going to go ahead and hatch. And then there we have our chick hatching in the middle of the night, and it says to you and yours on the inside. And then there you can hopefully see a little bit of the flying, and then how it comes together and then opens up. Very Cute. I really hope that you enjoyed this card using the pop-up card A mechanism, which was just that one little centerpiece that we used, along with the hatching egg set, all by Pixi Dust Designs, making this cute little hatching egg. And you can see how you can have it with, eyes closed or eyes completely open, or you can have one open and one winking. I think it's just a very cute set, and I hope you enjoyed the card. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you are reminded of when more crafty fun is to be had. Take care. Bye-bye.